Hi, I'm Natasha Lara Lewis with Esther's Place, and today we're going to be making a wool geode. We're going to be using a couple of easy basic supplies you'll have around the house. You'll need a cup of warm water. The temperature is warm, comfortable, not too hot, not too cold. We've got a little bit of soap. I'm using Eucalan, which is a no-rinse soap. Smells wonderful. I think I've got lavender here. But the wonderful thing about it is that you don't have to rinse it at the end. You can use any soap that you like. I've used dish soap, all kinds of different things, baby shampoo, whatever soap you have on hand. We need a small Ziploc bag. That's going to be for our wet part of the wet felting. We've got an assortment of merino wool. I use merino wool batting. This is wool that we've actually dyed ourselves, and this is a great way to use up little bits of fibers, you know, some of the scrappy bits that you have laying around, because we'll need lots of different colors, but not a lot of each. So it's a good way to use up stash. And last but not least, a good pair of scissors. So we're going to start by rolling our fibers together into a tight ball. Our finished product is going to look something like this. We've got two different sizes here, a small and a large. You can make them any size you want, create them into jewelry, pin cushions. They're really, really fun. It's a great activity for kids, but I think you'll enjoy it just as much. So we're going to start out with some small pieces of our merino, rolling it very tight. We want to roll and then tuck in the sides, roll, tuck in the sides. The tighter that you roll, the less felting we're going to need to do later. So I've got a small piece about the size of a pea that I'm going to start out with. And then I'm going to take my next color and I'm going to roll that around as well. So each layer I'm adding one at a time and rolling it tightly around my ball. So we're just going to keep on adding layer after layer. Each layer that I add is stretched kind of like a cobweb, and we'll take and roll those tightly around to get our beautiful colors in the end. So let's roll this thing up. Alright, I've got this all rolled up, and it's about the size of a small baseball. You can make them any size you like. Remember, they will shrink about half the size as you felt them, so start out doubly big in the beginning. It's also pretty dense, and you'll notice that all the little fuzzy bits on the outside I've smoothed down to make it hold nicely as we go into the wet felting. So let's go ahead and grab that Ziploc bag. We're going to put it inside. This means mess-free felting, which is really great if you're doing this in a classroom setting or just don't want to deal with a whole lot of mess. So I've got my geode in a Ziploc bag. We're going to take and add a small dot of soap to our water. That should do it. And we're going to add that soapy water to our bag. Now we want to add just enough water to be wet, but not soaking, dripping wet. So I added my water, and then I'm going to just let it soak in gently, kind of squeezing it a little bit. We want it to feel like a hacky sack. It should have a little bit of weight, but it shouldn't have a lot of water sloshing around in the bottom. So that looks pretty good. So what we're looking at now is a wet geode with really no water sloshing in the bottom. The water has absorbed entirely into the geode. So we'll squeeze out all the air and seal this up. Make sure you have it sealed well. And we're going to start our rolling. So roll it gently like you're rolling cookie dough. And we're going to do this rolling for about 10 minutes or so. Alright, so after our 10 minutes, we're going to have a wonderful felted ball inside of our bag. This ball has now shrunk about half the size, and it's really tight. We can then massage it. I give it about 5 massages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then give it another roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, give it another roll. Okay, so we're going to squeeze out most of the water for this. It's handy to have an extra cup nearby or a sink. So squeeze out that extra water, because now we get to do some slamming. We're going to seal that bag back up, taking out all the air, and then you're going to slam it on the edge of your table. Be careful, you might blow a few bags, so have a few on hand just in case. This part of the felting process tightens the ball and is going to give us a hard, dense geode that we're wanting in the end. Alright, it's time for the big reveal. So I'm going to take my ball and squeeze out most of the water. It's handy to have a few towels nearby to do this, and just roll it on the towel and get all that moisture out. Then we'll take our scissors and we're going to cut this puppy in half. It's always the most exciting part to see. Almost like opening presents on Christmas morning. Alright, are you ready? Drum roll please. Ta-da! Look at those beautiful colors. And every single one is completely different. Plus now you have 2 halves for 2 different projects, or you can share one with a friend. They make wonderful pin cushions. You can put a magnet on the back of it, and you've got an easy, fun project you can do with wool. Thanks for watching.